When young Sheldon wrapped up and passed the emotional torch to Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, fans were expecting the usual dose of Cooper's-style chaos, family drama, sarcastic one-liners, and plenty of awkward but heartfelt parenting. But with Season 2's recent teasers and behind-the-scenes glimpses, the tension between Georgie and Mandy might be heading in a different, and surprisingly deeper, direction. Yes, a big fight is brewing. But it's not the one anyone expected. Let's rewind. A rough start for a young couple. Season 1 of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage explored the comedic but undeniably challenging realities of parenting as barely legal newlyweds. Georgie, always the lovable doofus with a heart of gold, tried balancing diapers and dollars, while Mandy navigated the whirlwind of postpartum identity, overbearing in-laws, and her own career sacrifices. While the season leaned heavily into humor, there were subtle cracks under the surface, moments where their dynamic hinted at future trouble. By the end of the first season, we saw them reaching some form of shaky equilibrium. But that's the thing about balance, it doesn't last forever. The Season 2 glimpse. A picture worth 1,000 worries. The promotional image released earlier this month, which fans have since analyzed to death on Reddit threads and TikTok breakdowns, shows Georgie and Mandy standing in their small kitchen. Mandy's arms are crossed. Georgie's leaning against the counter, looking everywhere but at her. Baby Cece is absent from the frame, likely with Mima or Mary. The tension is thick enough to cut with a butter knife. What caught fans most off guard wasn't the body language, it was the subtle symbolism. A stack of unopened bills on the table. Mandy's open laptop, with a partially written email visible. Georgie's mechanic's shirt tossed over a dining chair. The everyday clutter of a young marriage trying desperately not to collapse under the weight of adult life. But the real kicker, a pamphlet on the fridge that reads, "Continuing education, build a better future." This isn't a fight about cheating. It's not about jealousy, meddling parents, or the pressures of raising a toddler. No, this is shaping up to be a clash of identity, growth, and ambition. Mandy's quiet evolution. In Season 1, Mandy came into motherhood like a reluctant soldier drafted into a war she didn't enlist for. But over time, she embraced it. Her sarcasm didn't fade, but it softened. Her resentment towards Georgie's immaturity evolved into something more patient, almost maternal in its own way. But now, she's starting to rediscover the woman she was before diapers and formula. We've already seen her freelance writing gigs hinted at in Season 1, and the laptop in the teaser suggests those ambitions are growing. The email draft might be a job application, or worse, a lease agreement for a separate apartment. Maybe she's planning something big, and Georgie doesn't know yet. Or maybe he knows, and that's exactly the problem. Georgie's growing pains. Georgie's always been the family's lovable screw-up. But in this new chapter, he's trying harder than ever to be responsible. He works long hours, avoids Mima's gambling schemes, and even started budgeting. Well, kind of, but personal growth isn't linear. Georgie's biggest strength, his loyalty, might also be his greatest weakness. He's content. And contentment, for someone like Mandy who's beginning to stretch her wings again, can feel like a cage. There's a growing sense that Georgie might not be ready to walk the same path Mandy is. He's not the type to read self-help books or go back to school. He'd rather fix what's broken with a wrench than with introspection. That pamphlet on the fridge? Maybe Mandy put it there. Maybe Georgie ignored it. The fight won't be loud at first. It will simmer in small disagreements. Forgotten dates, missed appointments, one too many, I'm just tired, excuses. It will show up in passive-aggressive jokes and unspoken disappointments, until it all boils over. Not about love, but purpose, and that's what makes this fight more powerful, and more painful, than the usual TV breakups. This isn't about whether they love each other. They do. Fiercely. But Season 2 is asking a harder question. Is love enough if you're growing in different directions? It's a rare kind of conflict for network sitcoms, especially ones that began as spin-offs from broader family fare. But Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is slowly carving out its own identity, darker, more honest, but still grounded in warmth. It's becoming a show that doesn't just echo young Sheldon, but expands upon its themes. And this potential fight, this existential divide between where we are and where we're going, feels both inevitable and groundbreaking. Fan theories and what they're missing. Of course, fans are buzzing with speculation. Some think the fight is about Georgie lying, maybe hiding financial problems. Others suggest Mandy might have received a job offer out of town. A few even think Georgie might be tempted to quit everything and return to his old, carefree ways. But here's the twist. What if the fight doesn't end in a breakup? What if it leads to a reckoning, a mutual, adult confrontation about fear, stagnation, and compromise. What if Season 2's biggest risk is not breaking them up, but keeping them together, forcing them to do the hard work most shows skip past in favor of drama? We've seen couples argue on TV for decades, but rarely do we see them evolve, truly, messily, and slowly. That's what the teaser promises. Not fireworks, but firewood, the slow burn, what comes next? As we inch closer to the Season 2 premiere, the stakes are higher than ever. Not because a baby's in danger or an affair is about to be exposed, but because the emotional reality is about to get real. No laugh track can drown out the sound of two people realizing they might want different things from the future. And that's why this upcoming fight matters. It's not a plot twist, it's a mirror. For Georgie, for Mandy, maybe even for us. In the end, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage might not be a love story in the traditional sense. It might be something rarer. A story about staying when leaving feels easier. About change that hurts. About building something new when the foundation starts to crack. So buckle up. The fight is coming. And it might just be the one that saves them. Or remakes them entirely. Let me know if you'd like this edited for a blog format or expanded further.